Take a deep breath. Center yourself. Notice what you desire to come from this time of meditation. Alma gives us a chance to reflect on our creed of treating others equally, whether we are the ones with wealth or without wealth. Notice in your own heart what temptations there are around riches and honor. How do you connect the riches that you have or don't have with your popularity or how hard you work? Even after Nehor was defeated, the people continued to follow false doctrines for the sake of their riches and honor. How do you keep in check your desire for riches and honor? The people of Alma's time were persecuted and afflicted because of their humility, because they were not proud in their own eyes, and because they imparted the word of God to everyone without money, without price. They did not practice priestcraft. Notice in your own heart the humility that comes when you impart the word of God to others, expecting nothing in return. And for a time, there was great equality in the church. Notice your own experience in your church compared to what Alma shared. He said the priest did not esteem himself above his hearers. The preacher was no better than the hearer. Neither was any teacher any better than the learner. And thus they were all equal. Every man labored according to his strength. And they shared their substance, every man according to that which he had, to the poor, the needy, and the sick, and the afflicted. And they didn't wear costly apparel, but they were neat and attractive. How does that compare with your experience in the church? Are there any areas of your life where you don't treat others as your equal? Take a moment now to talk with God about how He feels about you and how He feels about His other children. What ideas do you have about how you can treat others as your equal in a more consistent and meaningful way? The people in Alma's time began to be even more rich, more wealthy. They had abundance of everything. Every kind of flock or grain, gold, silver, precious things, silk, everything that's good. And in this prosperous circumstance, they didn't send anyone away who was in need of clothing, food, people that were sick. They were all nourished. Despite their riches, they shared of their abundance with others because their hearts were not set upon the riches. So they could be liberal with all. Of every age, male and female, and whether it was people in the church or out of the church, they had no respect to the persons who stood in need. But this did not last. Eventually, their wealth caused some to be lifted up into pride. Notice pride in your own life. Do you become more prideful when you have less or when you have more? Do you become more prideful when you're surrounded by people who have less? Or do you become more prideful when you're surrounded by people who have more? Eventually, the people, at least some of them, began to despise others and to turn their backs on the needy and the naked, and those who were hungry and thirsty and sick and afflicted. Not all turned their back, though. The ones that continued to serve the poor and the needy and the naked, this was a cause of great lamentation among them. They were succoring those who stood in need, continuing to impart their substance to the poor and the needy and the hungry. But they continued to suffer as well because of the afflictions and the persecution. Emma says that only the Word of God could bring down this level of pride.